College, and it's privilege to take this honor. And with thanks, Dr. Chandramohan, founder of EXRX India, Mr. Sampath Kumar, CEO of Sri Samraj Health Service Private Limited, Professor Duna from Dusat Creations, and I welcome all the students, those who are attending and participating for the students by the students webinar series. Miss Pooja, you can start.
Yes. Hello, good evening to one and all. I'm very thankful for RX for organizing such a good thing. And I am Dr. Pooja Shah. I'm currently in second year MPT doing my master's from Sunanda Devatia School of Science, NMINS University. And my today's topic for presentation is physiotherapy in ankylosing spondylitis. So what is ankylosing spondylitis? Basically, ankylosing spondylitis, it is an type of arthritis where it is an inflammatory arthritis. It affects majorly the spine and the large joints. So it has one more name, that is bamboo spine, and it is a inflammatory disorder, a chronic disorder where it majorly affects the axial skeleton, which is characterized by pain, stiffness, and ankylosis. Now, what is ankylosis? It is basically fusion of the joints. So it will majorly affect your spine, but sometimes it may also affect your hips and shoulders, which are your other root joints, and occasionally knee joints. And you may sometimes have ocular symptoms, and rarely you will see in such condition any heart related symptoms or lung disorders. So exact cause of this condition is not known, but it is said that it is an autoimmune disorder, and it is believed that 90% of the patients are associated with HLA-B27 antigen. So in ankylosing spondylitis, we will see that patients will have HLA-B27 antigen present in them. So if we do a laboratory test, it will in 90% of the patients, it will come positive. And autosomal inheritance is also present, which is 70% in males and 10% in females. So if we see in this picture the pathology, this is a normal spine, then this is the early ankylosing spondylitis in advanced. So early and advanced, the difference is only that in the vertebral end plates, it has started erosing and sclerotic changes we can appreciate. That this space over here is reduced as compared to normal, but in advanced it is completely reduced. And over here, the fusion of joints has not occurred, but over here, the fusion of joints has started. So you can see that it has already fused the vertebral bodies. Okay, so major three prominent pathological changes are inflammatory reaction, in which it involves the ligaments, synovium, and articular cartilage. Now, after this, there is a granulation tissue formation which takes place, and this granulation tissue is then replaced by a fibrous tissue. So now fibrous tissue then further results in ossification, and it gives rise to bony bridges. Now bridges is nothing but the fusion of that vertebral joints. So that is why the term comes rigid like a bamboo, that is bamboo spine. Now moving on to clinical features, onset is usually gradual, and you will see that individuals will always say that by the age of 20 or in 20s, they had a low back pain, which was unexplained. They have no particular reason why the pain and stiffness was there, and usually they will describe it like with movement the pain and stiffness was improved. So this is the classical feature of this condition. It usually affects male more as compared to female, and people will come with loss of sleep or loss of weight, or they might also experience fatigue. And usually stiffness is so much that breathing becomes difficult. So there will be painful breathing, or patient may say there is weight on chest. Now, other features include Achilles tendonitis, heel pain, painful joints such as hip and shoulder, or there might be some ocular symptoms, that is narrowing of visual field. The patient may see all the images blur, or there will be recurrent iritis where the patient's eye will be infection or inflammation of iris, so it will be completely red and watery. Some cardiovascular diseases, and rarely pulmonary diseases. muscles. Now, mainly our focus is on the spinal features. So that includes pain, stiffness, postural changes, deformity, and atrophy of spinal muscles. So usually patient's primary complaint of pain will be felt in the sacroiliac region 90% of the times, and then in buttocks and thighs. It might also involve shoulder and hip joint, but it will start with your spine and SI joint. Now, clinically, if all the symptoms are correlating with ankylosing, and if you want to rule out with some other condition and you want to see that, yes, it is particularly SI region which is involved, you can use this Menel's and Genslin's sign. It usually comes positive. Now, what is Genslin's sign? So basically, Genslin's test over here, if you can see, the patient is in supine position at the edge of bed. One leg is in flexion and other is in extension. Okay, so you have to just give overpressure over here. And then if the patient complains of the same pain which is reproduced at the SI joint, then the test is considered positive. Okay. Now in Menel's test, again, you have to take the patient in prone line and hip extension is done. There are 3 phases of Menel's test. So again, it is for SI joint and to rule out if the pain is coming from lumbar region or no. So this test is again helpful to differentiate between SI region and lumbar region pain. Now, other progressing towards other signs, stiffness is now something which sets in and it progresses for at least 1 month, 6 months to 1 year, and it involves the entire spine movement. Now, how to appreciate your stiffness, or what is the clinical test which we can do for stiffness? So it is this test, that is modified Skober test. In this, the patient is in standing position. You have to take a measuring tape and you have to mark 2 points, 5 centimeter below and 10 centimeter above the sacral dimples. Now you have to ask the patient to bend forward, that is lumbar flexion. Usually in normal people, the distance increases between 15 to 20 centimeters. But if the distance is less than 5 centimeters, the test is considered positive. Okay. So this was about stiffness. Usually stiffness is a very prominent feature which we will be seeing in early ankylosing and advanced ankylosing stages. Now, if the progression is just increasing, then we might see this kind of postural changes over here. Now, if we see this individual over here, just imagine that it is a question mark. Okay, so what are the changes we can appreciate is the forward head posture. This is a complete kyphosis. Hip is in flexion, knees are in flexion. Okay, so this takes place. Why? Because paraspinal muscle spasm is predominant in flexors. So it pulls the entire spine in flexion. And because of this, all the structural changes occur and a classic question mark deformity is seen. Now this deformity becomes irreversible when there is ossification of ligaments. Okay. Now moving on to investigation, X-ray, MRI and other laboratory tests can be done. In X-ray, there are usually 2 findings which are very common. First is that there is fuzziness or fusiness of the SI joint. Now what is this? We can't really appreciate the SI joint and we can see this white shadowish type thing near the SI joint. So it says that SI joint involvement is there. Moving on to the next feature over here, we can see that the vertebral bodies are fused. So this is a lateral view and this is your PA view. So in this, we can actually see that it is resembling a bamboo spine. Okay. So now, moving on to the next thing, the other investigations which can be done are TSR is usually elevated, mild anemia will be present, and HLA-B27 is positive. Now, if all the reports are done and patient is coming to you, so how should we clinically diagnose a patient? So it will be a young individual in her 20s or 30s with low back pain and stiffness, which is not relieved by rest, but it is improved by movement. So this is a major clinical criteria. of the condition. Rest, then we know that there will be stiffness in the thoracic spine, chest expansion will be limited, and the lumbar movements also will be limited. Now, for treatment, there are two methods, conservative and operative. For early ankylosing, we can go for medication, that is NSAIDs, and physiotherapy and yoga therapy can be given. But for advanced ankylosing spondylitis stage, operative method will be the best, because over there that question mark deformity which has set in, so that kyphotic deformity needs to be corrected. So it is done by spinal osteotomy. And if hip and knee joints are also involved and the fusion has occurred, then joint replacement will be the option. So now coming to the main thing, that is physiotherapy management. So for physiotherapy management, this is the approach where first if we look for the modality which can be given in ankylosing, cryotherapy, thermotherapy, hydrotherapy, and electroanalysis. Now, electroanalysis are all other modalities which we give, SWD, ultrasound, depending on what symptoms the patient is coming with. Now, for cryotherapy, there is a study which supports cryotherapy, that if a whole body cryotherapy is given to individuals with ankylosing spondylitis, there is much improvement in the functional parameters. Okay, so cryotherapy, that cryo chambers are there in which the patient has to enter, and only the face is outside the chamber, the entire body is inside. So particular temperature is sent in, and then you have to take it at the entire body. So cryotherapy is very useful. It is a recent article which was published in 2020. Now, appliances as such, no appliances are required. Only if there are any balance problems, balance related issues, and if the patient requires cane, then he or she can use cane for walking. Now for movement, we will be giving active exercises, where exercises are directed towards the weak muscles, which are back extensors, hip abductors and extensors, shoulder abductors and extensors, our core muscles, strengthening the weak spinal muscles. So this will be all our muscles through which our exercises will be targeted. Mobilization, to be noted, where the joints are fused, we do not give mobilization over there. We give mobilization to other parts of the other joints where the fusion has not occurred. Stretching the tight muscles, relaxation techniques, and do not forget breathing exercises. For advice, we will advise the patient to take positions which are usually supporting the extension position, because remember, we studied that paraspinal muscle, the predominant muscle spasm is of the flexors, not of the extensors. So that is why the entire body is going into question mark deformity. So we have to always promote extension positions for such patients. So lying flat in bed, hyperextended position, then also prone lying with prone lying on elbow, prone lying on hands. This all will support your extended position. At least 10 to 30 minutes of each position, and 3 times in a day should be given. Now, according to the patient's requirement, diet and activity modification should be done. Now, moving on to each particular group of muscle and exercises which are targeted towards them. So, hip abductors. So we will first start with free exercises in whichever comfortable position the patient is. Okay, so if the patient wants to do it in sideline, or in standing, or in supine line, or in prone line, or in sitting, we should have alternative for each position. Okay, so sideline position, and it should be a pain-free range. So this is abduction and sideline. Then if you want to still progress in sideline only, but without any TheraBand or weight cuff, then you can go for the sideline plank, and then ask the patient to do hip abduction. Okay, so this were your free exercises which you can ask the patient to do. Then we can use TheraBand or loop or weight cuff. In standing, we can tie a TheraBand on the chair and ask the patient to do abduction. Or again, take a squat position and then abduct the other leg. And you can also do side walking. So again, your hip abductors will be strengthened. So again, in sitting, if you want to do hip abduction, then tie a Thera loop against your thigh and then do abduction. Okay. So this was about your abduction in different positions, which I mentioned. To be noted again, all the exercises which I have mentioned is for your generalized body program, because in ankylosing, overall body exercises we give. So whatever symptoms the patients have and whichever muscles are weak and tight, accordingly our protocol will be set in. Okay. So I have just mentioned all the muscles and different positions. You all have to just pick up whichever is required. Now moving on to other group of exercise muscle, that is hip extensors. So in hip extensors, if we see, this is with the Thera loop, but again over here active free exercises will be started in pain free range. So in prone line you can ask the patient to do, in standing we can ask the patient and do. In prone line, if again the patient is using compensatory movement by moving the hip up or down, that is hip hiking is done, then we can ask the patient to flex the knee and then do the hip extension. Okay. Then in quadruped position, one leg will go up, that is your hip extension. If all the active exercises patient can do nicely, you can progress to this exercise where a thera loop is attached, and again resistance is provided and the patient has to extend this leg. Again, to this, a progression is where you will extend this knee. So it will become a difficulty and a challenge for the patient, and the patient has to extend. So this was all in prone position or in quadruped position. In supine, if you want to do, you can ask the patient to do bridging. Thera loop is also there, and then you can hold this position for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So then hip extension is done. Now with the medicine ball, we can ask the patient to maintain the bridging position and then roll the ball in and out. So by this, other group of muscles are also targeted, your core muscles are also targeted, and your hip extension is maintained. So just roll in and out. Okay. So now moving to other group. Okay, so for hip only, lower limb, now it is said that aqua therapy is very helpful. So if you have a aqua setup or you want to take your patient, if he or she has membership in the any of the clubs, you can take them in the swimming pool and in the pool. And if you have any such kind of accessories, that is, this is a noodle blue color thing which you can appreciate. So you have to just ask the patient to keep the leg on it and do hip flexion. This is hip flexion which the patient is doing. Even if you don't noodle, we can just ask the patient to do 3 exercises, because water itself it will provide some kind of resistance. Okay, so this was about your first picture. Moving on to the second picture over here, the patient is standing inside underwater treadmill, and he is holding the treadmill railing, and then he is doing squatting. Okay, but even if the treadmill or anything is not there, we can ask the patient to just hold the railing of the swimming pool, which is always present, and do the squatting thing. Even as she is doing lunges, the same thing can be done, holding the railing and do lunges. So any day aqua therapy is very helpful, because overall body is being exercised simultaneously and together. All the muscle groups are targeted. Now, since lower limb strengthening exercises are covered, moving on to the tight muscles. So now, whichever muscles are tight in the patient, those exercises are need to be incorporated. Okay, so usually plantar flexors, quadriceps, hands, adductors are tight, but if any other muscles are tight of lower limb, so we have to add that muscles. Now, to be noted again, whichever position the patient says he or she is comfortable in exercising, in that position we will be giving him stretches. Okay, so these are just different positions in which all the muscles can be given stretch. Now moving on to your back and core exercises. So in the first photo we see the back and core exercises are together incorporated, where this is a quadruped position, Superman position is being done, then the side planks are done. So in all this your back and core are focused together. Cat camel is also done, and if in this you see prone lying, prones on elbow, prone on hand, standing backward bend. So all these are particularly for your back extensors. Now coming on to this prone, prone lying and opposite hand and opposite leg lift. So in this, your extensors and your core muscles both are strengthened together. Now only if back extensors we want to focus. So what to do? The way we check MMT, the same way each level can be made a exercise. So first only head lift and shoulder lift, then hands clasped behind the head. Then the third level is hand goes forward, and then the next level hand forward and leg up. So all these levels if the patient are easily, comfortably doing and more progression is required, then we can just add a Swiss ball and each exercises again can be done. So these are very good exercises for your back extensors. So we covered back, core and lower limb exercises. So moving on to your upper limb, where particularly shoulder joint targeted because over there usually pain is felt. So each group of shoulder exercises needs to be strengthened. Remember the protocol, active exercises. Then move towards your progression with TheraBand and weight cuffs. Same exercises you all can just progress, and over here the photos are given. So internal, external rotators, flexion, extension, everything can be done. Even again aquatherapy, so basically over there I added a few lower limb exercises in water. We have added few upper limb exercises. So over here this is a free exercise which she is doing. If you look over here, now over here if we see, we'll just notice that weight cuff is tight and he's doing shoulder flexion extension. But no, if you notice, then he is prone on the lying on the noodle. But again his back muscles, his core muscles, his lower limb muscles, everything are working together to maintain that position. No doubt with the help of buoyancy he will float on water, but somewhere this all muscles are working together, so entire body exercise is done. And over here again with the help of noodle she is doing retraction and protraction. Okay, so for upper extremity stretches, again, whichever muscles are tight, those muscles needs to be stretched. Even your abdominal muscles, like particularly your flexors, lumbar flexors and all, those muscles are usually very tight. That is why we go into the deformity. So hyperextended position will help in stretching those muscles. So that stretching are also very required. And then whichever muscles are tight, add in that stretches. Lastly, we'll talk about breathing exercises and relaxation techniques. Now, relaxation techniques such as Jacobson's relaxation technique can be added in the protocol if you feel that patient is little stressed up, so the patient will feel much better. And in breathing exercises, we can just give thoracic expansion exercises, thoracic mobility exercises, deep breathing exercises, and segmental breathing exercises. So all these exercises, the chest expansion which is limited or the thoracic expansion which is limited will help in with these exercises those symptoms will be reduced and patient will feel much better. So take away tip is ankylosing spondylitis. Whenever the patient comes to you with the laboratory test and everything, just see properly what are his signs and symptoms, which muscles are weak and which muscles are tight. And do not forget that this is a condition in which entire body is usually involved. So do not stick to one particular joint or one particular area, but always take a multi stick or a holistic approach and choose all the exercises which will cover up the entire body. No doubt targeting the main muscles will be our main goal, but cover the rest of the muscles too. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Pooja. It was really wonderful prescription session for
Thank
ankylosing
you.
spondylosis.
Thank you.
So I take this honor to thank again your guide, anyone helped you for this session. I thank them wholeheartedly, and Dr. Ali Rani sir for suggesting the PG students from his own college, and we'll meet forward in the future sessions from your batchmates. Thank you and bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. See ya.